Sup YouTube, time for another quick review. This is quite a specialist bit of gear, so this may not appeal to everybody. We're going to be looking at this custom quiver item here, which fits on a Salomon running vest. It's meant for foldable running poles, for like mountainous routes if you're taking your running poles and you're someone who doesn't like them on the front, because these vests, this one at least, has front attaching points as well, but if you're someone who wants them on the back, you can get this extra quiver that fits. I bought this myself for a different reason actually. I got it because I do YouTube channels and I find myself carrying like GoPro accessories and selfie sticks and things like that. I do have some poles I run with, but they're actually hiking poles. They're these ones, these black diamond hiking poles, but obviously this is pretty big. This is like 60 centimeters long, and a running pole is much lighter, and it's not, you know, it's a bit flimsier, but it's also much lighter for using in the hills. It folds down to about 30 centimeters or something like that. I mean, you can see if I put this here, it's much bigger. It wouldn't work at all. I knew that when I bought it. That's fine. I tend to just carry those poles at my sides when I'm running, and I don't run huge 100-kilometer distances yet. I might find myself getting some Z folding poles for running if that happens down the future, but for now, for me, I don't use it for poles. I use it for things like this, like just like a GoPro selfie stick that I can drop in there. It fits in there a treat, and I use that when I'm running. So that's why I got it. Because of that reason, I imagine not many people will be in the market for one of these, but if you are, I realise there's not that many reviews of it, so I thought I'd do a quick overview. So I got this recently. I've used it on a couple of runs. I'll insert some footage of what it looks like when you're using it. Beyond that, the way it fits on this this is a Salomon 12 set advanced skin. I got it 2020, so I think it's the current model. It didn't fit on the older model because it needs these, you can see these like attaching points here. It has two clips that attach here, and then it has like a bungee that you can put wherever. I put it onto this like reflective bit at the bottom. Now when you're not got your pack with anything in it, it kind of sits kind of loose like this, and it looks like it's going to move around a bit. It's a bit floppy, but once you've got stuff packed in there, it actually sits pretty well. This vest at least does have these mounting points on both sides. I actually put it that side first before I realised that that's kind of dumb, because the main zip is on the right side there, so if you do that you kind of block the zip. So I've got it on the left. So getting onto the actual usage of it, for my usage with the GoPro thing, it works fine. It drops in there nice. I can get it back out again. I imagine it will be just fine for running poles as well. It's a sort of material they make a tent out of. I don't know what you would call it, like a Gore-Texy type material, and it feels quite durable, and it's not going to break. It looks pretty well built actually. That would be the first pro of it. The second pro is it's quite cheap. It's like 30-40 bucks, which, you know, when you're looking at a $300 vest is pretty cheap. So it's a nice little accessory if you think you might need it for that reason. It's also pretty light. I think it's like 35 grams or something. It's kind of unnoticeable when it's empty, you know, you just plonk it on there. Obviously you've got the weight of the poles as well, but you're going to be carrying those anyway. So it's a kind of a nice addition if you have a kind of long cylindrical object you might need. On the video there, you'd have seen that I actually have this like lump of plastic, this like plastic folder that I put down there. That's just because in my use case, this GoPro selfie stick has like rubber all along the handle, and it sticks a little bit when you're getting it in and out. Although I've noticed that seems to be a lot less now than when it was new. So it's either because the GoPro stick's got a little bit worn or this has got a bit worn, but either way it goes in much easier now, so I probably won't bother with that plastic in the future. In terms of the fit on these, one thing I will say is this was not easy to do. These are very, very tight. This took me about a quarter of an hour of trying to get these in. I ended up having to use the end of a pen to like widen the end of it slightly, because they've got these like metal clips. And these clips have like a little hook, focus. They have like a little metal clip there, and it has like a lump on the end. And that lump makes it quite hard to slide in. Once it's in, they're very hard to get off. So it's quite secure, but I wouldn't want to be popping this on and off every time I went for a run. So now this is on, I'll probably just keep it on, to be honest, even if I'm not using it, just because it's very light. but it's not as easy to get on and off as I thought it would be. Once it's on, it's fine, but yeah. In terms of looks, I mean, it's personal preference, I guess. Some people will say you have like a Robin Hood kind of archery theme. I kind of feel you end up looking a little bit more like Johnny Five from Short Circuit, but you know, whatever. And in terms of the construction as well, it has a certain amount of padding here. It's quite a thin padding, but where it sits on your back, if I can maybe show you that, it tends to sit so that it's mostly covered by the vest with a very slight bit overhanging here, which just touches you on the ribs. It doesn't rub, it doesn't cause any chafing, and when this bag's got stuff in it as well, it kind of comes off your back a bit anyway. But I did think it was nice they added that bit of padding there as a forethought, just in case it does rub. For me, that's not been an issue. It also has some holes in the bottom here if it needs to drain water or anything. That hasn't been an issue for me. It's turning summer here now in New Zealand, so you know, it's not raining heavy like that. Yeah, on the topic of access, it's pretty easy to use. I've got it on my left side, so I'm reaching over my right. That's a little bit of an issue for me because I've got a destabilised right shoulder joint from a previous car accident, which makes it a little bit difficult to reach over there, but I can do it. You can do it with the same hand as well. That's a little bit more awkward. So you kind of expect to have to use it across the body. That's fine. If you're dropping things in there that aren't full height, like this Joby Gorilla Action Pod tripod, obviously that's going to drop down in there. So what I did is I've got myself a little carabiner and a string, and I can clip that to my vest, so the string's on my shoulder, and I can just pull on the string and it pops out. It makes it fine. Now obviously this doesn't fit all vests. I know it fits this one obviously, which is the Advanced Skin 12. I believe it fits on the 8, but I'm not 100% sure. I know it fits on some of the S-Lab series, and the attaching point at the bottom is a little bit different for some of them. And I've noticed that this quiver is a newer version because the old one used to have like some metal hooks at the bottom that would hook on. This one just has this stretchy elastic, which makes it fit at the bottom, which kind of increases the comfort of it. But you do have to have these hook points at the top, unless you're going to do some DIY mod to get it to fit, which you probably could do pretty easily. But yeah, I mean, mileage may vary for that. So yeah, it is a pretty specialised bit of gear, and it obviously won't appeal to all people, but if you do have Z-form folding poles and you're looking for a way to carry them on your back, and you're either looking for a new vest or you've got a vest that's compatible with this system, it's a pretty good buy. I would buy it again. For me personally, carrying GoPro poles and things like that, selfie sticks, it's been brilliant because I used to have to carry that on, in my hand all the time. And these GoPro selfie sticks are about 1 kilo. They're quite heavy because they've got so much rubber on them. I might actually make some mods to that pole to try and lower the weight a bit, but at the moment it's quite a heavy bit of gear to carry around. So it's been a great buy, and yeah, I would recommend it. It's well built. It's cheap. It's light. It's just fitting it the first time is a bit of a pain. So yeah, that's my review, and I'll leave it there. Cheers.